try that again. Good morning, friends. Hopefully it's slightly more stable now. Have reset the router, so we'll see. But yeah, good morning again. Well, my connection is still showing as unstable, so I don't know. Ugh. But yes, hi, welcome. We'll just kind of do our best. It's weird because, like, I don't think it was having these issues during my Infinite Fusion stream, or at least nobody reported them, so I don't know. Maybe Rogers is terrible on Sunday mornings specifically, just to spite me. Look, as long as it stays stable for long enough for me to do the D&D recap, that's all I really care about. Which will theoretically be at the top of the hour in roughly half an hour. Although I will say this is probably going to be a bit shorter on the recap side of things. Yesterday's session was not strenuous. Morning, Randus. Welcome in. There was a very brief, like 3-second Sasha. But hopefully she will return at some point. Came in, jumped up, complained, immediately jumped down. Now I presume she's probably back down on the couch. Or the footstool, but I think Kara's currently using the footstool. Got a new footstool, and of course, as expected, within a week, it now has a fine coating of black cat fur all over it. As Sasha likes to be tall. And the footstool is perfectly Sasha-sized. So clearly was meant for her to loaf on. Exactly. Why else would we have purchased a footstool if not for Sasha to loaf on? Compelling argument. Also, hopefully the router reset cleared up some of that artifacting. If it didn't, I don't know what to say. Back scissors. Need you. Audio is still good? Excellent. That's honestly what I care about more. Visual artifacting is annoying, especially since I'm doing visual things, but I can deal with it. The audio artifacting is non-negotiable, though. Come on, thread. Yeah, come here, coffee. D&D recap will be starting in 10 minutes or so, so if you need to grab refills on your drinks, run to the bathroom before all that starts, do so. Not going to be an extremely long recap, though. Great. 7 hexagons joined in. Time to make more. Hexagons don't ever stop. Yeah, exactly. The hex keeps coming. The hex never stopped coming. Exactly. Hey! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, welcome in. You're actually coming in at a very good time. I'm just about to start a recap of the D&D session that I had yesterday, because some of my viewers are invested in the storyline but don't actually, like, aren't part of the group, so I tend to recap. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. I'm SJ. I am doing some sewing. Just kind of vibing and making hexagons. But yeah, we're very chill here. I don't do a lot of talking. It's mostly just hanging out, listening to chill Animal Crossing music. And I encourage people that if you have something to work on as well, grab your own projects and work along with me. Yeah, we're chill but also warm and cozy. Both of those things at the same time. One thread. Enough of you. I can finish this hexagon. Okay, but it is 11. It's top of the hour, which means it is time for the D&D recap. It's gonna be a short one. So, last time on the Cursed D&D session, we had continued to explore Axholm, this dwarven fortress that we're clearing out, to try to make it safe so that if the people of Phandalin need to evacuate, in case of dragon attack, that they have somewhere safe to evacuate to. Hang on. I need to stick this needle in my mouth for a second. Oh. Okay, there we go. Oh no, Hopebot. Hopebot, wake up. So we've been working our way through this dwarven fortress to try to clear it out. We killed a bunch of ghouls. We disposed of a ghost that did not like us very much. And we had found a secret room. We found a secret room with a chest with a couple magic items in it. And a further ghost, which Glint is very not happy about at all. Because Glint hates ghosts. We grabbed the magic items. Bram accidentally triggered a trap while trying to close the secret door. So he got, you know, a little bit ow from some burning oil. It's fine. But we decided that we should probably take a short rest. We still have some amount of fortress that we need to go through and clear. We think we've gotten all the ghouls, but we're not entirely sure. We could still run into some combat, so we decided to take a short rest. While we take the short rest, Phalar is able to cast Identify on the two magic items that we found in the secret room. One of them turns out to be a Belt of Dwarven kind, which, when you put it on, you gain Dark Vision, you gain, I think a little bit of, is it AC? No, you gain Constitution, and there's also every morning a chance that you grow, or if you already have a beard, your beard will thicken. Because it's a Belt of Dwarven kind, and dwarves love their beards. So we got a Belt of Dwarven kind, which ended up going to Marcella, because she currently does not have Dark Vision. And she's somewhat squishy. So the Constitution and the Dark Vision are both extremely useful for her. Oh, okay, perfect. +2 Constitution, 60-foot Dark Vision. You gain you gain the ability to speak the Dwarven language, and then there's a 50% chance of a beard every morning. Excellent. So Marcella decided she will risk the chance of having to shave and took the belt. The other magic item was I believe it was called a dread helm, where it's a helmet where when you put it on, your eyes begin to glow red, and your like your face under the helmet just becomes black shadow. So like you put the helmet on and it becomes that cartoon thing of like a completely shadowed dark face with just the two glowing red eyes. So Glint laid claim to that, just in case she ever needs to intimidate anyone. There we go. Sorry, briefly counting. So Glint laid claim to that. We continued on after we took our short rest. We headed back out into the hallway. Turning the corner to the last door at the end of this hallway, Bram went and opened it and was immediately confronted, like, 4 or 5 feet in front of him, with these chainmail curtains that were like hanging floor to ceiling. And this fortress is so old that the chainmail curtains were extremely rusted, still movable, but like extremely rusted. So Bram kind of carefully pushed them aside, trying to listen and see if there was any reaction from anything on the other side. Very wary of there could still be enemies in this fortress. And as he pushed the chainmail curtain aside and peeked around it, he found a privy. He found a toilet. So he was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, there do need to be toilets in a place like this. There do need to be bathrooms. So we found a bathroom. And that was a dead end. There were no further hallways or doors in this direction. So we backtracked and went back downstairs, because we knew that there were other places to check. We went down the staircase that we had not previously. So when we came upstairs, from the stairs that were in the main throne room, and we knew that there was another staircase. So we went back down the other staircase. I unthreaded my needle. Good job, SJ. We went back down the other staircase and found ourselves in what could charitably probably be called a ghoul nesting area, where like it looked like they had turned it into a sort of a den. It was probably a fairly large room at one point, but a lot of it had collapsed in just over time. The ceiling had caved in and there was a lot of rubble. But it looked like the ghouls had kind of colonized. There were spaces left by the cave-in, and the ghouls had kind of colonized it and turned this area into their den. We could tell that from, some of the remaining bits of statuary and bits of wall carvings and such, that this used to be like a chapel, or a shrine. And examining some of the rubble, Basil and Marcella and Glint happened to notice some, like shiny things in among the collapsed rubble. So they went over to investigate. They found this big iron, well, not big, but like a steel strong box, that had probably at one point belonged to the shrine. And Marcella happened to notice a further sort of glimmering thing down among the stones. So she was the only one that seemed to notice it at first, so she tried to kind of subtly pocket whatever it was, without anyone noticing. However, Glint and Basil both noticed that she was, trying to scoop something up and pocket it. And Glint, of course, being Glint, was just kind of like, hey, what you got there? So Marcella kind of gave in and showed them that it was like a platinum amulet with like a gold fixing and a gold chain, with a holy symbol on it for the dwarven god of creation, and kind of surmised that this might have been the holy symbol of the whatever priest or, you know, cleric oversaw this shrine back when it was still, you know, a working shrine. And then I believe she pocketed the holy symbol, Kite? I lost track of exactly what happened to the amulet. I believe she pocketed it. And then Basil went to go open the chest because it didn't seem to be trapped and it didn't even seem to be locked, which I suppose sort of made sense if it was just kind of storage for the shrine. So Basil opened it and peered in and then just immediately slammed the lid closed again. And so Glint, of course, intrigued by this, was like, "Hey, Basil, what you got there?" And Basil was being very evasive and was like, "Well, it's vials." And Glint's like, "Well, what kind of vials?" And Basil kind of glared at Marcella and was like, "Well, I'll show you if she steps back a bit." You know, clearly concerned that Marcella was going to swipe whatever was in this chest. Which, you know, might be unfair, but also I don't know the full extent of Basil's history with Marcella, so it could be fair. Who knows? But, you know, Marcella kind of sighed and threw up her hands and took a few dramatic steps back. And Basil opened the chest and revealed that it is a superior healing potion. Like, the big one. The really good one. The really, really expensive one. So we have one vial of is superior healing. I believe it's superior, not greater. Those are two different things, right? It's the really good one. After a little bit of sort of back and forth and debate about who should carry this, we eventually decided that Basil will keep it. With the logic that Basil is squishy enough that he might just need to use it himself, but also if somebody else ends up needing it, Basil has fairly high mobility, so he would be able to get it to somebody that would need it. We briefly debated giving it to Glint for similar reasons, but Basil is more likely to be in melee combat while also being somewhat squishy. So Basil is more likely to get kind of thrown on their ass and in need of a higher healing. And also, Glint has access to spells of healing and Basil does not. So giving Basil a way to quickly heal themselves in a crisis is a good idea. So we pass the potion to Basil. Kite. So Basil picked up a thing and gets to keep it, and that's normal. But Marcella puts an amulet with no known purpose in her bag, and everyone loses their mind. No, I think we're happy to let her keep the amulet. But yeah, it is very funny. Double standards, right? God, the double standards in this party. Don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll be accepted fairly quickly. Historically, we tend to accept new party members with very little question in this party. But yeah, so we have now a very good healing potion. We continued on sort of down this winding, not a hallway, but like this path that was kind of left through the caved in rubble, and found our way out into the corridors on either side, or the corridor on the one side of the main ballroom where we had come in, which has, you know, arrow slits and these big ballista, and also a staircase upward. So we continued upward, back upstairs, and then this is the thread, come on, there we go. The room that's over top of the portcullis. So this room has fireplaces with big old cauldrons in it, and trenches and holes in the floor, so that you would be able to pour boiling oil down on anyone that's trapped by the portcullis. There's cobwebs everywhere. It's clear that this hasn't been disturbed in a very long time. All of the fireplaces are dead. The oil is all kind of dried up. But everything is still here, if needed. There were a few doors in this room. We checked them out, and it turned out to be sleeping quarters, but like barracks sleeping quarters, like cots and footlockers, and stuff that was clearly meant for whatever soldiers would be manning the boiling oil and sort of defending the fortress. We also found more storage, and heading back downstairs. So there's, the way that this works is we sort of came up on one side. We were able to walk across the room that was like over top of the portcullis, and then there was stairs down again on the other side. So we came up, walked across, went down on the other side, as opposed to just like cutting through the ballroom on the first floor, which would have been an alternate sort of way to go. On this side, we found sort of a weapon and armor storage area, but it looked like everything had been cleared out. All of the racks and the armor mannequins and things were empty. Just as Marcella was commenting, like, oh, it's weird we haven't found like a forge for anyone who would be, you know, maintaining all of these arms and armor. We haven't found like proper sleeping quarters, except for you know, the Castellan's room and that one guest room where we found the presumably elven skeleton. Just as Marcella is making these comments, we open another door and we find the forge. So, you know, asked and answered. We also found a larger room with like a bunch more beds in it that was set up a little tiny bit more comfortably, that, you know, could be the housing for like women and children kind of thing. The fireplaces we checked. It was originally going to be commentary on map design in D&D modules, and then you got hoisted so high by your own petard, right? Like, literally, just as you were making those comments, we immediately found the things you were commenting on. It was great. We checked the fireplaces. A couple of them, it looked like, were blocked by rubble. Bram pulled out like a notebook or a bit of parchment and started scribbling notes of like, okay, check and make sure somebody is directed to unblock the fireplaces in, you know, this room and this room kind of thing. We continuing on, we found the kitchens. One of those chimneys was like partially blocked. Glint went to go check the other one and saw like movement way up in the chimney, where like it looked like something was perhaps using the chimney as a nest. Not bees, but something. Originally she was going to throw a firebolt straight up the chimney, and then we all reacted in brief horror of like, hey, you don't know what that is, it could be friendly. It hasn't dropped on your head, so it's not bees. And she kind of realized, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's probably not a great idea. So instead she set a bonfire in the hearth so that the smoke would go up, and hopefully smoke out whatever was nesting in the chimney. And sure enough, she chased what was probably a whole family of bats out of their home. But better they get chased out than exterminated by whoever from Phandalin gets set to clear the chimneys. So there is now a homeless bat family running around somewhere, but I'm sure it's fine. It was the middle of the night, so they have plenty of time to go find a new roost. Yeah, I know. They had to leave though, because we're trying to make this place habitable for the people of Phandalin. Best case scenario, we don't have to use this place and the bats could come back. I know, I was a bit sad too, because I love bats. They say Glint never learns. She sometimes learns. She's learned, like, I'm sure 2 whole things this campaign. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but I'm sure she has. And I believe that was basically it. We found the storage room for the forge that had a bunch of still serviceable smithy tools in it. We found the kitchens. But yeah, we had pretty much cleared the whole fortress. It looked like there were no remaining ghouls and no remaining ghosties, as far as we can tell. So we took a long rest. Bram, I can't, he probably would have wanted to personally take care of the 2 non-dwarven skeletons we found, but he also may have just made note of their locations to pass on to relevant authorities of like, here, when you go in to like, we have cleared this place of enemies. When you go in to start recolonizing, there are, because he probably would have made note of the scattered remains and the sort of areas with ghoul corpses. He would have been making notes on like, here's all the areas that are going to need extra cleaning up now that we have made sure that the fortress is safe. So he'll probably just pass those notes on, so that whatever cleanup, like proper cleanup crew gets sent in, they would know where all of the relevant bodies are to be able to take care of them. So we took a long rest and then we headed back to Phandalin. As we entered Phandalin, the proprietor of the inn kind of waves them to a stop as they're crossing the town square, Bram specifically, and is like, hey, somebody left something for you. It's really, really big. You need to come and get it because it's taking up a lot of space. And Bram's like, for me? Like, for me specifically? And Torben's like, yeah, for you specifically. Some young centaur lass said her name was Cherry, came pulling this cart with like this thing for you, and it's really big and you need to move it. And Cherry is Bram's niece. She is above table. She is actually one of my other D&D characters from another campaign. She is a centaur bard, and she is Bram's niece. She was inspired by her uncle's tales of travel and adventure and wanted to set out on adventures of her own. She is the daughter of Bram's brother, and is also an adventurer. Yeah, she didn't ask if she could, like, store the thing there. She just kind of dropped it and left. Which, yeah, that kind of tracks. Cherry's a little bit of an airhead. Like, that actually fully tracks for her. She means well. She's a good girl. She's just a bit of an airhead. Um, so Bram was very pleased to hear that, you know, even if he didn't get to see her personally, he's glad to hear that his niece was in the area and seemed to be doing well. So he goes to investigate what she might have left for him. And it turns out to be a loom. Like a whole ass big, turns out it's a family heirloom that Bram's brother had decided to send to him. I'm gonna guess they probably, because Bram probably writes back to his family fairly often. He had probably made note to his brother that, yeah, we've you know, I've kind of half settled in Phandalin for now. And his brother probably went, great, I'm sending you a thing, and sent him this big loom. But it does fit in the cart, so Bram's plan is basically to kind of install it in the back of the cart. Because yeah, Bram's family are weavers. That's what they do in their village. That's what Bram grew up doing. He does know how to weave. He was a weaver up until the got, you know, wanderlust and decided to run off and become a lowercase b bard, and then eventually a paladin. So he does know how to weave. It is part of his family history. So yeah, now he's got this loom, and above table, this was my birthday present this year. So it actually is really cool. Randus made this whole custom item for me. But it grants Bram the mending cantrip. It grants him proficiency with weaver's tools. And then also once per day, he can sort of reinforce a piece of clothing to grant it +1 AC, but it doesn't stack with armor. So you only get that +1 AC if you're wearing the reinforced clothing without other armor. Which is really nifty. So he's gonna start doing some crafting activities in the evenings. It's real neat. I was just kind of expecting like a vanilla loom for RP purposes, but access to the mending cantrip is interesting, and there can be some. I'm gonna have some fun with that, I think. But yeah, so we left the session there as we were re-entering Phandalin. And as Bram goes to reclaim this loom that Cherry left for him. And we'll pick up with whatever's next next time. So yeah. Not a very strenuous session, but it was a fun session. It's good sometimes to have those more relaxing sessions where there isn't combat and we can just kind of vibe and explore a little bit more. Dang, that seems good. Really not take it or weave it at all. It's true. So thank you, kits. RP specific requests tend to get a little extra juice. That makes sense. That's fair. We haven't actually talked about it as players yet. I'm suspecting our next goalpost is going to be going to take care of that green dragon, because we had been thinking about that beforehand anyway, before we were reminded that Axholm was a thing. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna be Heading toward Green Dragon Land. Excuse me. To be clear, only one person can benefit from the +1 AC at a time. Oh, interesting. Okay, that does make sense. So he can't just start producing shirts for all of the people of Phandalin. As much as he might want to do that. I'm glad you clarified that, because that was kind of his plan. I mean, hell, he probably still will be making, like, blankets and things for the people of Phandalin. Just purely vanilla RP blankets kind of thing. Scarves. Winter's coming, you know. People need to be warm. But weavers do. Oh, okay. You reinforce a shirt, and over the course of the day, the reinforcements wear out. Oh, okay. So it's kind of you need to keep doing it. That makes sense. Well, that kind of makes sense. But yes, from a mechanics and not making it overpowered point, I see how that works. That makes sense. I believe we determined that within the party it's Phalar and Basil that would be able to benefit from that? Or does Basil wear armor? I forgot. Was it just Phalar? Just Phalar currently. Okay, that's what I thought. At least that makes the decision easy. Oh, true. Also Light. I miss Light so much. I hope they come back soon. I know they're doing their own thing, but I miss Light. I hope Light's mom allows them to come back to us and doesn't just lock them in their room to keep them from their new friends and our bad influence. You've got a day or two before reaching tree? You haven't even gotten to the tree yet? Oh, Light, come back. Clearly, we just need to ignore the dragons and just like continuously sleep in Phandalin to advance the calendar until Light can return. That's how D&D works, right? I'm sure that's fine. Technically we can, but events will happen. Yeah. Oh, right, roll for dragon. I wondered about that, but I figured we would do it at the top of next session, or, you know, in between. Need to do 2? Why 2? Pretty sure we did one when we arrived at Axholm, didn't we? Or is the green dragon also on the move? I swear if she hits Phandalin again. Out of curiosity, Randus, and you don't have to answer this, obviously, are you modifying the dragon list as we go? Like, for instance, we know she completely destroyed the windmill, so is that, like, off her list because it's of no longer any interest to her? Or is it still a possibility? Or if she rolls the windmill again, is it just kind of like, well, I'm gonna go check it and see if there's anything interesting that has occurred? List is hard-coded. Oh, okay, fair enough. I was just curious. Alright, that's 7. There we go. Another round of 7 hexagons. Completed. Aha! Kite has redeemed a board game arena. Excellent. Actually, this is a fairly good time. I'll go take my break, and then when we return, I will board game arena. Do a bit of a shuffle here. Reminder that if anybody needs to eat or think about getting food, you should do so. You can also grab refills on your drinks. Okay, it's not her going to any particular place. It's her flying over and then attacking if her interest is had. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense, Randus. Thank you. Alright, we'll call that shuffled. I will go take my break. Everybody get up, stretch, move around a little bit. Kuma, get your coffee. And we will reconvene in a few minutes. Don't go too far, and I'll be back in a bit. Alrighty, I am back. Yes. PGA Open. There we go. Also, don't mind any minor crunching sounds. I have egos. Okay, let's see here. I have concerns about this game. Yes, please. I'm not winning, but he keeps me from losing. Dang it, Kay has an 8. Okay, okay. I'm not doing terrible. Alright. Not super useful, but that's fine. Okay, let's draw a clover. Ooh, perfect. Okay. Draw card. Hey, a joker. There. Okay. Excellent, excellent. Slowly but surely. Yeah. Forget whose crib this is. Oh, it's denoted by the symbol in the player panel. Okay, that makes sense. I should... Yes, excellent. Excellent. If Kite scored a higher hand, I would have been screwed there. Hooray! Game's not over yet. Okay, 2 cards to Kite's crib, huh? This is annoying. Now I have to do math. Math. 3, 6, 8. I do that. But then 2, 4, 6. So yeah, I do want to do this. Hello? There we go. Sure. Okay. I think I go for this first. Okay. 5 light points. Let's do that. Let's do that. And that's it. No, 14 doesn't help me. Almost, but not quite. I need 8. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I could actually do that. Do that. And then if it gets around to me again, I can yoink that 18. Okay, 12-point hand for Kuma. Nice. 7-point hand for me. And a 10-point crib. Not bad. I'll take it. Okay, 2 cards to Kuma's crib. Well... Crud. Math again. So I can do that, which is 4. Yeah, I think it's going to be that. Okay. 2-point hand. Yeah, that's what I figured. 4-point hand for Kite. And a 3-point crib. Not bad, not bad. Okay, my crib. Yep. Okay. Do I want the discard? Don't, well... No, I don't think so. Let's draw. Okay. That goes there. Discard this one. And then hopefully next turn I can get to my foot. Hopefully. Yeah, yeah, me as well, Kite. I'm pretty sure that discard is full of black 3s. Okay, so now I grab this one. No people are playing. I'm low on games at the moment, so I was gonna go start up a couple arena games. Turns out it's the last day of the arena season, so it's not letting me start any pass and play ones. Oh, Kite's not playing anymore. They need to clean. Clean? That does seem like an appropriate Sunday activity. Fair enough. All right. In that case, thank you very much for the games, friends. I will switch back to here. And yeah. There we go. Mute the mic to move it, unmute afterwards, everything is fine. Yeah. Ah! Everything is fine. That was just my hand slamming into the wall. No big deal. When I went downstairs to get my waffles, Sasha is currently a ball on the couch. Just a lump of cat. Just an absolute lump. Ooh, we have tuned back into ducks just in time for pinball. Exciting. Reminder, if you need to be getting food, please go get food. Noms are important. This is your traditional reminder. Also meds, if you need to take your meds, do so. Your food do be in the ovens. Excellent. What kind of food is currently trapped in Kitsune's oven? Ooh. Pre-made lasagna is still tasty. And a lot less work than lasagna from scratch, but still tasty. Excellent. Just finished Noms. Apple toaster strudel with homemade apple butter on it. Ooh. Embracing the fall season. I like it. Once I am done stream, I have curried butternut squash and pumpkin soup waiting for me. I'm very excited about. Uma finally has coffee. Excellent, excellent. I know Kara is working on decorating a house in FF14 for a friend. Anyone else working on anything interesting? Slash, how goes the decorating, Kara? Ooh, expanding your sheep farm in Minecraft. Oh, excellent. Is it one of those like water-driven ones where the sheep like bob around in a circle and then get sheared whenever they have wool? Or is it one of the ones where they're in like tiny boxes? They are in a box? That's fair. It's there are six sheep crammed in a cell and the thing shears them. Excellent. Ooh, Digimon Story Time Stranger. Excellent. I think it's the previous one that I still need to play. Have it. I just have never had the time and focus to actually sit down and like get into it. The one that's like something detective? The Ghost Detective? No, that's the anime. Is it also the game? I don't know. I have one of the Digimon story games that I really need to play on Switch. Cyber Sleuth, that's it. Yes, that is the one I have. Yes, it is Cyber Sleuth. I've heard it's very good. Like I said, I just haven't had the focus to sit down and get into playing it. Oh, none of them are connected. Honestly, I really liked the DS games. Cyber Sleuth is very grindy at points. I think I did play the DS games. Because those were the ones that were like dawn and dusk, right? Like they tried doing the Pokemon thing with two different versions. I did play those and really liked them. Maybe play those on stream at some point. That would be fun. Would be a fun thing. I do also have plans at some point to stream the Final Fantasy Tactics re-release. Don't know when that will be. Possibly not until the new year, but that is sort of on my list at some point. I've never actually played the original Tactics. I know the story of it, but I've never actually played it. Oh, and I mentioned it at the top of the show, but I'll mention it again here. Potentially next week, possibly the week after, in the latter half of October, I do plan to try to finish playing Interior Worlds, which is that really spooky, liminal exploration game that I was playing last year. I meant to finish it then, and then it kind of got away from me. And I eventually figured, well, I should wait until spooky season again this year. So we'll do at least a couple more streams of it. I would like to try to finish it, see whether or not that happens, but we'll do a little bit more of it once it gets a little bit later in October, a little bit closer to Halloween. calling this on myself. Everybody stretch. Ugh, I think I slept weird on one of my shoulders last night. It's not happy with me. But that includes all of you. Everybody stretch. I mean, that's a little better, I think. Shoulder just isn't happy. Am eaten? Okay. I will grant Kitsune a 10-minute delay while she finishes eating. And possibly a further 5-minute to let the food settle. But then once you feel comfortable and have begun your digestion, please stretch. Aha, and Randus has redeemed the accompanying hydrate. Thank you very much. Everybody hydrate. Excellent. Okay, that is better. I think. Oh man. Of course a Growlithe shows up on the day that Merlin's not here. Alright, there we go. Another string of 7. On to the next ones. Alright. A lot of 1s today. Better today than yesterday, I suppose. Although, I don't use a d20 for these, I use a d12. So, slightly easier to roll a 1. Roll for roll, a 3. Alright, I will use 3 for the next one. Thank you, kids. Are you implying that because Kite coded the bot, that it tends to roll low? Is that an inheritable curse? Concerning. Actually, I feel like so far, Marcella's actually been rolling pretty well. So it might not even be Kite, it might just be Light. Although I seem to remember Lash had some pretty bad rolls too. Alright, it's rolled a 3 for this one. Excellent. May has remembered her stretches. Your stretch debt has been cleared. Off for a walk and tea? Excellent. Enjoy your tea and the walk. Both of those are lovely things for a Sunday. Oh, hey, Merlin. Hello. How is the con going? I hope it is going very well. Thank you for stopping by. Was not expecting that, but I hope the con is going well. Hope there are some pros at that con. Yay, table! Excellent. Love a table. be a little bit of thread chicken, but I should be fine. Okay. Okay. As is. You you sound surprised to find hexagons, Kitsune. I'd love to know what you were expecting to see instead. Swear to God, this set of templates, the best quilting purchase I've ever made, for me personally. I've got this little, it's just like a hard plastic template. I've got a whole set of them in a bunch of different sizes. They are the best purchase I ever made. Specifically for being able to use them for this. They were made to be able to cut, like, measure and cut your fabric hexagons. But I use them for my papers and they're perfect. They don't wear out the way the cardboard templates I was using before did. And my big scissors. I finally remembered to get them from downstairs. Oh, an update on a work in progress. I do in fact now have one of the couch cushions covered. I just need to actually sew the cushion in place. And that'll be this week's project. I thought about doing some of it on stream, but it's very large and awkward, and it would be difficult to stream with this setup, and I didn't feel like adjusting my setup. But I will take some pictures. The fabric panel that we had bought for the two bottom cushions was actually only large enough for the one, so we will need to acquire some different other fabric for me to be able to do the other one. But I also have the back cushions to do, and I think the fabric that we bought for the back cushions is enough for both of those. Potentially. So the couch cushions are happening. Slowly, but they are happening. Also, a different sort of work in progress between just like vibing on Friday and keeping my hands busy during D&D yesterday. I am officially 20%, a little over 20% actually, like roughly 22% of the way through the ridiculous grind I'm doing to get a mount in FF14. I'm fate farming to get bicolor gemstones to buy one of the stupid, ridiculous, expensive bicolor gemstone mounts. Because the one they released with Dawn Trail is a frickin' giant flying squirrel, and I want it so badly. And it costs so many bicolor gemstones. But I'll get there. I'm 22% of the way there. I will get there. Running around through the very first area in Dawn Trail, I came across this enemy mob that was just this giant, like, flying squirrel thing. And I was like, oh my god, it's so freaking adorable. Squeenix, give us a mount of this. And it turns out they did. It's just stupid expensive. But I will get there. Luckily, I don't actually mind farming fates, especially when it's, like I said, keeping my hands busy during D&D. Because it's like minimal brain activity and I can just sit there and hit the buttons. Ooh, yeah, at least it's not locked behind PvP. That's true. Some of the PvP gear is incredible, and I have not done PvP ever. But some of the gear is really nice. I know Kara keeps saying she wants to kind of dip her toes into PvP because there's some of that gear that she wants. Maybe you two can team up. Because I think it's the stuff that looks like magical girl gear, I think is all PvP. I think that's what the stuff that Kara wants. Oh, I just remembered I have delicious soup waiting for me after stream. Soup. Curried pumpkin soup. My favorite soup from our local, like, grocer? Kind of? But they're like... They're kind of like a Whole Foods without, but they're not a Whole Foods, but they're like, you know, local produce, locally made things, better quality. And a bunch of their, like, packaged soups are made, like, on site. And they make a curry pumpkin soup that's amazing. And Kara bought me a container of it. I get to have that after stream. There we go. 7 more hexagon. unthreaded my needle again. Everything is fine. I'm competent. I am skilled. Here's my edge. There it is. Oh yeah, that's definitely enough thread for another seam, she said, laughing nervously. finish up this last seam here and then we'll call it a day. Seamless? No, 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 that doesn't sound right at all. There are so many seams here. It's seamless. Something has gone very wrong. Also, I believe the seam you're looking for is SEAM for a sewing seam. But yeah, that'll do it for today. I hope everybody has a really good week. I'm hoping to be back at some point with more Pokemon Infinite Fusions. And as I mentioned earlier, next Sunday there will probably be a stream. It'll probably be shorter, but I am aiming to do at least a little bit of a stream. To at least pop in and say hello. My parents will be visiting, but they don't usually come over until noonish anyhow. So I should be able to do a shortened stream. Or who knows, when they arrive they may want to hang out and watch me stream. We'll play it by ear. But I am planning to stream at least a little bit next week. But yeah, before that, I do hope to be back at some point with Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Possibly tomorrow. Who knows? We'll again, play it by ear. But I hope everybody has a lovely rest of their Sunday. A lovely rest of their weekend. Until the next time we talk. There we go. So yeah, until the next time I see you guys, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other as much as you can, and to see you again in the future. Ta-ta!